Hey everyone, it's me, Ms. Schwartz. So for last week's lesson, we did 2-point perspective haunted houses. Remember these? This week, we are going to dial it back a little bit and do something a little simpler. This week, we're still going to be focusing on perspective, but we are going to be just doing 1-point perspective drawings. More importantly, we're going to be doing 1-point perspective streets. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you do a 1-point perspective drawing, you are going to need a pencil. Make sure it's got an eraser. You're going to need a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a straight edge like this marker box. So as you can see, I've got my piece of paper. I am going to make a line that roughly divides my paper in half, okay? So you see that? So I kind of have one part down here, one part up here. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to make a little dot smack in the middle of this line. You see that? That is called your midpoint or your vanishing point, because if you look at these 1-point perspective drawings, that little point you see in the middle is where everything seems to vanish or get really, really tiny. 1-point perspective is like when you stand at the end of a very, very long hallway and just stare straight down. And the farther away you look, the tinier everything gets. So anyway, so we have our horizon line, we have our vanishing point. Now I'm going to, let me flip this over. There we go. Okay. So I have some space here. Okay. So I'm going to draw a diagonal line from my vanishing point to the corner of the paper using my ruler. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to do it again. Okay. Okay. So this is my street, okay? And just to get that point across, I'm going to add a couple more lines right here. And I want you to notice how all my lines return to the vanishing point. They all start at the vanishing point. They end up at different places like here and here, but they all go back to the vanishing point. So this is going to be my sidewalk. Okay, so you kind of see how that works. So here's my street, here's my sidewalk. So as you see with my sidewalk, the spaces on the sidewalk, is the further you go along, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. That means that the closer to the vanishing point you get, the smaller your drawings have to be. So let's say I paint road stripes. So I am going to paint, or not paint, but draw, you know, they paint them on the street, but I'm going to draw them. So I am going to draw a road stripe. It's going to be nice and big. But as I get closer to my vanishing point, they're going to get thinner and shorter. That one's a little too long. Okay. So do you see how that works? So since this is our vanishing point and things are getting a lot smaller, I'm going to fix that right there. Okay. The things along the horizon line are going to be a lot tinier. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be drawing a buildings. You can draw houses, you can draw buildings, but they are going to be tiny. Because if we made them really big, that would throw the picture off of, or out of proportion rather. So there's my house. There is its fence. There's another building. Okay, so you can see that my buildings are pretty little. So you want to start off with your horizon line. You want to add your vanishing point, and you want to draw your lines that go out diagonally to form your street. So if you want to, and I'm sorry guys, I'm going to flip this over so I can see better what I'm doing. You can add buildings along the street. So if you want to add buildings, they're going to have to go like that. The bottom of the building will have to go along the direction of the street. Flip that over. Okay, I'm going to add that. Okay. And then I'm going to make this line right here go like this. You can add 3D buildings if you want, but you do not have to. That is really challenging, but if you try, that would be awesome. So that's not much of a building because it's hard to draw sideways, but let me add an even bigger building. Okay, so do you see how that building is even bigger than that building? Just make sure that the sides of your building, like this line and this line, the top and the bottom, they go along the same direction as your line on the side. So if I were going to draw a building on this side, I would make the bottom line go along the direction of this, kind of like what we were doing with the windows and doors with our haunted houses last week. So, and again, if you find these buildings to be way too challenging, you don't have to do them. You can just add buildings on your horizon line. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, my buildings are getting bigger the farther down you go. The farther down you go, the street, the larger things get. So that is how you do a 1-point perspective. And while I do want to see lots of buildings along, tiny buildings along your horizon line, you do not have to add 3D buildings along the side if that's too hard. If you think you can do it, you can try. I am going to add some little trees here. And you can color this if you want. Coloring is optional. You don't have to do it, but it'd be cool if you did. So that is how you draw a 1-point perspective of street. So remember, if you guys have any problems doing this, any difficulties, please call me at my Google Voice, 816-482-9743. You can also email me at kschwarz@kcpublicschools.org. I hope you guys had fun doing this. And remember, if you make mistakes, it's totally okay. Reach out to me and I will be happy to help you. Have a wonderful day. Okay.